Hello, beautiful people. Thank you for joining us on a new episode of the Keep It Simple show. As usual, I have Tolu and Ruki in the studio with me. My name is Oluwakemi, and you're welcome again. Hi, ladies.
Hi,
Kemi. So, how are you guys doing?
Actually looking nice. I love this your gown.
Thank you. Style by Boxy.
Okay.
Yeah, style by Boxy. I feel advert. Marketing department. I beg. Don't come and action you.
Oh my goodness.
So, how are you guys doing? How is 2020 going on for you generally?
2020 has been a great year.
Really?
I mean,
some people have another opinion about that. Okay, all right.
All,
I love
in all,
the optimism.
We thank God that we are alive, we're breathing.
Yeah.
I mean, we have health. I can see you and smile because you're looking beautiful. Same with Ruki. So it's just we should just try to focus on the good things.
Okay.
On the bright side of things. Yeah, we all know about the pandemic and how it had thrown people to a kind of disorder in some kind of way. Like everybody just trying to fit in and see how they can just shaft their course through to the end of the year. And I get to see people talking about the fact that can 2020 just end? Yeah. Whatever the case have been, we thank God that we are still breathing. Yeah. So for me, it's been a great year. Let me just put it that way. Yeah.
All right.
Initially, January was actually very nice. We're also celebrating a new year, Happy New Year,
Vision
2020, and all that. Actually, but then it was a shock when Corona came, and we were first hearing it from China and all that. We didn't know it was going to affect the world at large, but when it came, it was a very big shock. And me personally, I don't think I had a shock absorber for that.
Okay.
But later along the line, I just had to start adding my absorber to absorb all the shock. And right now, I'm no longer shocked, but I'm thankful to God for everything that has happened. Well, some plans have not gone the way we proposed or supposed it to go, but we are thankful to God for everything.
Definitely, we should be. Okay, we know that lives have been lost. Properties have been lost as well. 2020 for some people have not really been a good year, and they just want the year to end and to move on to the next year. Yeah. But the truth is, there's every tendency 2021 might be worse, but let's pray that it will not be worse.
Let's pray
or better. But as Christians, we believe that we believe these are the perilous times, and we know that definitely things might be a little edgy and all that.
But indeed, I trust the Lord.
Yes, but for Christians, you can be assured that you would face challenges, you face hard times and trials, but you should be on good terms because definitely you will conquer the world. All right, let's quickly go on a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying with us. In case you're just joining us, this is Keep It Simple. And our discuss for today is financial dependency in relationships. Yeah, so we're talking about relationships all encompassing. So parents to children relationship, boyfriend to girlfriend relationship, husband to wife relationship, all encompassing. Think relationship, think financial dependency. So should it be encouraged or not? That is what our discussion will be about. Yeah. So let me go straight to the ladies. So let's talk about financial dependency. Okay. Talk about it from personal perspective first. Let's talk about you to your parents. Okay, so you know that, of course, at a certain age, you're supposed to be dependent on your parents. Yeah. So what age do you think a child should stop being dependent on their parents? And you can speak from personal perspective too. What age did you? That is if you're already financially independent. Let me even ask. Are you financially dependent?
That's where you should start
No,
from.
no.
Are you
Okay. Yes,
Don't
I
mind
am.
me. Let's just
Yes,
talk about
yes.
it from other perspectives. So let's start with you, Ricky.
Okay, so financial dependence is when you have to rely on someone, for basic needs, basic survival needs.
Yeah.
And it's not a taboo when you are a child and you have to depend on your parents, you get. But then it becomes something like bad when a full-grown man or woman depends on others for their survival needs, especially when it comes to feeding, clothing. Sometimes shelter is somehow dicey because in Nigeria, in Lagos especially, I mean, houses are expensive to rent. Not to talk of building a house of your home, but if you're young, why not? Your parents, your guardians can take care of you. But once you are older, probably you are done with your schooling and you are working, why should you be dependent on someone else? But if you're done with school and you don't have a job, man, you just have to accept support from someone else.
Okay, so
So
let's say the
really-
person has a job. I want to take her up on something she said. So let's say the person has a job, and of course, like you said, shelter is a bit dicey. What age range are we looking at here? The person is done with
It
schooling.
depends
has a
on the
job.
year you finish your schooling.
Okay.
Because
So
some
there's
people,
no-
would-
okay.
well, let's just say for some people, they gain admission into university like 18 to, that's 4 years, to 21 or 22. By 23 years old, they are serving, and then, I mean, they are paying corporate salary now, right? So they are making money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think this is the question I should ask. At what age should we begin to raise eyebrow if an individual is still dependent on their parents or their guardians? Like, at what age should
I
that be?
personally think there are no hard and fast rules to this thing. It can be relative.
Okay.
We have 18-year-olds that are financially independent.
Yeah.
And we still have 25-year-olds that are struggling. And that doesn't make them a failure. It just happens that where they are positioned,
Situation. Yeah.
it's not just convenient for them to, position economically, psychologically, or academically, whatever, where they are at that point isn't just allowing them to be able to, own their shit and just take care of themselves. And that's fine. So you go through life, on your own terms. Like,
Sure.
okay, fine. You don't consider other people's calendar to judge yours. So it's fine if at 17 you're making money. I actually know, I heard of a story that at 17, the little boy was able, not so little, he's a teenager, he was able to develop a software
Okay.
that worth millions of naira.
Okay.
And he got paid and he's doing well. He's even helping his parents. Whereas we have another 17-year-old that's still seeking admission or probably in school already, and he's still solely dependent on his parents. So I don't think we should give an answer to that question at what age. There are no age. See, just go with what was
I think they are
obtainable.
age, I mean, when you're
There's
close
no-
to 30,
Yeah.
30 something, or even
Yeah,
50.
no, especially I'm talking about the younger
younger,
ones.
okay.
Yeah, please don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. That
Yourself,
that's
yeah.
why so many youth get themselves into businesses that they are not into. They're not supposed to go into. You find them doing some dirty cheats, and because the pressure is just too much
Legitimate.
on them.
Yes,
So please, for the younger
yes.
generation, let's take it easy on them. But for older people, mid-20s, early 30s, there are still no pressure. You just need to find yourself. Okay, so at so age, at 25, you probably a graduate and you're still seeking employment. So while waiting for that job of your dream to arrive, what are you doing? Even if you're still living with your parents,
Okay.
and they're still catering for your children and feeding, what little way are you contributing to the upkeep of the family? So yeah, you don't earn much, but at least you're able to, in a week or in a month, drop something, no matter how little. It shows that you are not actually entitled. It shows that you have empathy, and people would come to understand
You're
that yeah, she doesn't have
responsible.
much,
Okay.
but she's taking responsibility by dropping just to support. So for me, I don't think I would like to answer the question that, at so age you should be all by yourself. No.
For
Okay,
younger
all right.
folks,
Let me
for
call you
younger
guys.
folks.
Okay, let me call you guys there. So now, looking at it from the perspective of being Nigerians, okay, we are aware of the fact that the typical Nigerian parents, in fact, there's an age you get to and they start telling you, oh yeah, now, It's either they start telling you to start contributing financially to the family, or better still, you move out and start your own thing, you know, especially when they feel like you should be on your feet and on your toes. So there's a kind of pressure, just like Tony mentioned, coming from the parents. So some might want to go illegitimately, feel that, oh, they have to earn money, so they decide to do it the illegal way just because they have to earn money. So the last question I want to ask concerning parents-children relationship is that on the part of the parents, especially for the average parents, you know, for parents who are wealthy or they have they have affluence and all that, that's a different ball game entirely. But let's speak for the average Nigerian parent that had to struggle to send that child to school or send the child to wherever, maybe to go and learn one particular thing or the other, to know how to do certain things. So, like, what do you think the response of, or what do you think the reaction of parents should be towards children who are finding it difficult to find their footing, you know, who are taking so much time? Like, I love what you said, saying that timing is different and all of that. But how many parents actually understand this? When even they themselves, it's not like it's easy for them, you know. So I want us to see it from the parents' perspective and see it from the children's perspective. So that's like two advice in one. So for parents, what do you think their reaction should be? For the average parent, then for the kids as well, not kids anymore anyway. Let's say the young adults. So we are talking possibly 28. I'm going to do 28. Let's do 28 to like 30s, maybe early 30s, you know. So what do you think they should also put in place to make sure that at that particular age, there will be no reason whatsoever to be financially dependent on their parents? Do we understand the questions? I think I said too much.
I think I can pick two ideas from what she had to just say.
All right.
But the first one I would like to talk about is the fact that their reaction to their children, especially when they're out of school, ordinarily would expect that parents would want to begin to earn the fruit of their labor immediately after graduation. That's the truth. They just expect that you get a job, start working, and in fact, your first salary, you can't trade it. They expect that you bring to them.
Yes, no, I did that too. I did that too, of course, so, as a Nigerian.
So when that doesn't come, they begin to, you know, feel some kind of way. Although they understand that it's not like they have a company already established that they are bringing their kids into. So then you see them encouraging you, praying along with you. You know, especially our mothers, they'll pray for you. Don't worry, you get a job. You can still, of course, it's still your house, you know. We are still one big family. Whatever it is, they will just want to try to encourage you till you get your footing, right? And that's fine. But if it begins to linger long, you will see them, as much as they are trying to bring you in, they are pushing you out. Whether consciously or unconsciously. Then you begin to things that ordinarily wouldn't trigger you, things that wouldn't get, you know, at you, that wouldn't get you upset. What are they doing? Is it because I'm still home? Is it because I don't have a job? Then you want to begin to find, you know, reason to want to leave, whether or not it's even comfortable out there. So for parents, it just builds on them to take it easy. And you know, there's another angle to this topic. When parents are dependent on their kids, they just feel like, see, we've done the one we could do. Begin to pay the dividend.
In fact, they expect you, even if you're a first child, they expect that you begin to take care of your younger siblings.
They don't even do much, but they expect to reap, so that you can begin to, you know, take responsibility for your younger siblings. And that's horrible. I feel we should just advise that they should not prioritize their kids, their words. They should just let them, encourage, support, but please don't prioritize, because when you do that, you're just pushing them out. Now, for the individual, whosoever it is that is in this position, that you feel, oh, you are getting prayers from parents, it's fine. Just take life easy. For me, I mean, I can't, because, you know, things are actually relative. You cannot say this is how it is. Like, this is just the one-way method that you can achieve financial dependence. But just be smart, work hard, put God first, and whatever it is you find to do, just do it well. So it might not pay off, you might not blow immediately, but just be consistent in whatever that little thing. If you have a job that is not paying you well, stick at it. Try to find ways you can improve productivity on that job. You could that could, you know, give you opportunity for promotion, or you could get bigger gigs or bigger jobs along the side. It's fine, but whatever it is you find to do, just do it. If you are learning trade and you're probably into business, and he's not paying much, keep at it. And
Okay.
people will see that, okay, you are being responsible, even though you're not, bringing in much now,
True.
but with time, it will pay off. So
Okay. All right.
we
Vicky.
wouldn't encourage
One thing I
complacency.
feel that parents should do, even from a younger age, is to teach or train their children to be responsible. So along the line, when they grow up, you can probably help them register them for some menial handiworks like
Handiwork.
tailoring or baking or something. Just give them some knowledge. It's not just about education, you understand?
Okay.
They just have to be able to do something that will shape them. When they get to school, they can be learning or be earning little from that trade that you've been able to offer to them. You understand?
Yeah.
But when if it's just all about school, they don't have any other thing. They just have to they will be dependent on their guardians or parents. However, the case may be, just train your children, encourage them, ask them what they want or what they like to do aside from schooling. Some people there are lots of things we can do. I remember when my younger brother enrolled for generator repairing and all that. It was actually nice because now he helps us repair our gen. You understand? And
People
it has
should be
cut
paying
costs. I mean, we sent him there, right? Not me, my parents. But it was actually nice because he has that knowledge. The other one learns, is it engineering or something like that, to repair tricycles and the rest.
Oh,
He's
okay.
not really using it, but he's very handy when it comes to our house things. Anything that's just spoiled, just give it to him.
He fixes it.
He fixes it and he helps other people too. So we just have, as parents, I believe that they should learn to make available to their children these skills and work apart from education, because it will help a long way. In case a job doesn't come as fast as possible when they graduate, they will have something to fall back on.
Yeah, true. You know, we should be pushing a new narrative, especially for young adults who are becoming parents. Begin to understand that there are skills in this 21st century that if you have them, you will never ever suffer. You will never lack. So if you had to go through the whole financial trail issue with your parents, there will be no need for your kids to do the same thing. And as young adults, I think we should begin to think of laying a legacy that by the time we have our kids, they will be able to benefit and build on that legacy. So in fact, those jinx has to be broken for individuals. Anyway, let's quickly go on a short break. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Keep It Simple, where we are definitely keeping it simple. All right, our discussion today is still financial dependency in relationships, and we already talked about parents or guardians to children relationship. You know, where should financial dependency begin and where should it stop? So we are moving from that now to another kind of relationship, and I think that's where we'll probably wrap it up for today. So let's talk about couples. Yeah, I think we should do that instead of doing boyfriend girlfriend. Even though I mentioned that earlier on.
Okay.
So I think that's just the husband wife, you know.
Yeah.
So financial dependency among men or women, no, not among men, women, among the husband and the wife,
yeah.
you know. So in this part of the world, we believe that it is totally fine for your wife to be dependent on the husband. Okay. But now narratives are changing, and the female folks are gradually getting I don't know, things are changing, and they're getting that awareness that there's nothing wrong with being financially stable. Do you understand? But of course, there's still a dependency. Because I think when you're married, one way or the other, both individuals are dependent on themselves. That's the way it's supposed to be. But still not forgetting another narrative that the Nigerian man or the African man can decide to just do things their way, and whatever they do will go down well with their wife. After all, they are the head of the family. That's another narrative. So now let's just look for a particular narrative
that you want to
exactly. So that we won't go here and there. So let's just talk about a particular thing. Financial dependency among husband, wife. Is it advisable? Should it be totally? Should it be partially? Or should it even be eradicated?
Financial dependency.
So please go first.
Among husband and wife.
Yes.
I don't think we can say that it should be totally, eradicated. Or let's just talk about how it relates to hers and how you decide to run your relationship. There are women that are comfortable being dependent on their husband, and their husband is ready to cater for all of their needs.
Some husbands don't even want their wives to work.
So it is what you want that works for you. It's fine. We shouldn't throw shades at people that find themselves in that scenario. That's what they chose for themselves. And for others that would want to, be independent, especially for the woman in the relationship that would want to be independent, that would want to be able to do stuff even without waiting on the husband to be around before she can get things done. And the husband solely supports her. It's still fine. So if you would ask me, you just want to ask my perspective on things like this, I would say that in this time and season, it is really okay from my perspective that the woman should own her money as much as the husband owns her money. Gone are the days where we say, they still say it anyway, that my money is my money, but your money is our money. Women like to say that.
Who does that refer to? So is it the husband?
The husband's money is our money.
The husband's money is our
but
money. Well, my own money is my money.
I think I like that.
You see? That was why I said there are people and that's total dependency on the husband. And you see, it's fine to want that too. There are people who are doing that and it's fine.
Everybody especially women, we all like to be pampered. We all like to be taken care of. Would you just relax and be taken care of? It's fine. But the truth is that as much as you enjoy that privileges from your husband, it will be nice if you can, come in and salvage whatever financial situation arises and your husband is not available to, fix it. So it will even bring you more honor. Like it would even respect you more because it'd be like, well, my wife can hold down for me even when I'm not around. Whatever emergencies happens, you would know that, okay, my wife can handle situations. Then when I come around, if you want me to settle her, fine. Then if we want to find a way around it and still, consider other projects that the family will do, okay, I will foot that other aspect. So it's just a conversation that every couple should have.
They
should always have this conversation because what works for me might not work for Ruki. I want to make my money. My money is our money. His money is our money. Everybody is making their dough. Everybody is smiling to the bank, and I can easily get what I want without necessarily taxing my husband for it. So I want to be that financially independent that I can do stuff.
Okay, now you just said something. I want to be financially independent so that I can do stuff. So that means it's possible that between the husband and the wife is financially independent, but can still make financial decisions, still asking the husband, especially if what you have to do has to do with the family or as an individual, say one way or the other, you're responsible for yourselves, So that means that we can still do financial dependency.
I get where she's trying to.
Is that like a theory we are starting? Is that like a new narrative?
I don't think so.
What do you
because
think,
imagine, okay, the economy now in Nigeria it's not so. What's the word to use? Is it sweet?
It's not stable.
It's not stable.
Okay.
In fact, husband, wife, they just need to work. That's why you see the husband leaving the house by 5. The wife the same time, and it's a nanny that's taking care of the children because they need the money. Things are getting expensive every day. Lots of things, and we have lots of things to cater for in the family. So it's no longer about I'm just independent. We are both independent, but we are committed to
making
the
it
relationship
work.
and to making it work. That's my belief. I just feel that it should be so. Well, some husbands, I have some people in my life that the husband doesn't want them to work, and they don't like it, but they just have to do it because that's what their husband wants. Yeah, but the woman would like to work. Whereas there are still some that are working and they're enjoying it and their husband are really in support of it. So I think that if the husband is able to provide and he feels like he doesn't want his wife to work and she's cool with it, no problem. But if your wife wants to work and you say no, I think there'll be issue there because there's this self-worth. There's this esteem, this satisfaction we have when we count our money. Have you looked at your bank account and you're like, wow,
definitely.
You're like, wow, oh my goodness.
Shopping spree.
Blessing or me to not trying. Look at my account. I mean, I worked for this. There's this satisfaction that comes with it. So there's no how. Apart from the fact that we want to make money, we want to make sure that we live well, we also want to be fulfilled and satisfied.
Mm-hmm. I think we should also emphasize on the fact that there is every possibility that as an individual, we're women, so as a wife, there might be some things you need to take care of that you might not necessarily have to discuss with your husband because you understand that these things are, let's say maybe now your husband is responsible for certain things and you want to get clothing for the kids. You know that asking your husband, the money might not get to you as fast as you want it. Yeah. So you can take care of that situation, like you can salvage that situation. Situations pop up. It might be electricity bill, it might be water bill, emergencies can just happen, things just happen like that and you just have to take care of such situations. So now are we saying that total financial dependency among a man and a woman, a husband and his wife, is not possible? Is that what we're saying?
Situation also affects because we have times when a man loses his job and the wife will be the one bearing everything for years. You understand? And she's taking it like, this is a joint partnership and we are together in this for the longest and forever. So you just have to do it. You don't have. Should I say you don't have choice? Some people make their choice and leave the marriage, but for Christians, that divorce is not allowed. So you just have to be at the forefront and help the family out. When the man is there also, he's helping out. I think that should be the mindset of people. But when you see like it's my personality, that's selfishness to me. As in, it's selfishness when you have something and the other person doesn't have, but you are trying to limit what you do because you feel like, I'm the one, or pride sets in and all that. It should not be so. You should be able to support the other person if he or she is not able to rise up to the task. But that does not promote laziness because some people are lazy. They don't just want to do anything. When it comes to man, when it comes to woman, some people are just like that. They don't just want to, they're not responsible. They don't just have that responsibility mentality. They just feel like, someone else will take care of me, especially when they really depended on their parents or their folks for a very long time. So they don't have that. They've never worked for themselves. Even when they were single, they never worked for their clothing. They had everything at the platter. So when you get married, what are you expecting? The person would still want that that care, that freebies, that what's the word? That luxury. To be available, but it definitely might cause problem in the marriage if the other person doesn't want that.
Okay, let's talk about capital projects for the family, not parents, the couple. So now, it's for some couples, they believe, if we want to get a landed property or want to build a house or want to buy a house or buy a car, whatever the case might be, we have to contribute together, to do some of these things. So there's probably like a 50-50 thing and all of that. That's one part too. Don't forget that part. Then there's another part that there are some tribes in Nigeria that when the husband dies, and he has the whole, of course, maybe he's the owner of the landed properties they have and all of that, and the husband dies, automatically, all of those things go to the first child. Do you get what I'm saying? It goes to the first son, not the wife. Even if the wife is still alive, kicking, it goes to the first son.
What if the child is still growing?
So, that's another thing. So let's say, what if the child is grown? Yes, the child is grown and in fact, set to take care of all of those things. That means now that the woman is now dependent on her first son to take care of her needs. Do you get what I'm saying now? That is why some women say, see, let my husband buy his own house, let me buy my house. Do you get what I'm saying? And they say, let him buy his own stuff, let me buy my stuff. So that if anything happens and they transfer all of those things to my first child, who is already grown, who is probably in his 30s and he can take care of all of those things, I still have something to fall back on. And that is why some are preaching total independence in relationships or even in marriages. So even if you want to pay for house rent, they believe equality. We'll share the money. So there's nothing like it is for me, or now you get time. No, I'm only talking about conversations. Exactly. I'm talking about situations in marriages right now. Things that are happening. What is obtainable? That is just the truth.
I think you're the best person to answer this question because you're married. So
I'm sure you would have had
the best answer. I don't know.
You would have had. You would have had
just like a
discussion with your
month and some
husband.
days into marriage. Thank you very much. See,
some of
that's
these
why I
things
said
you would
from
have
tribes. Okay,
Yeah.
my husband is from the Yoruba speaking part of Nigeria, so that kind of thing is not even obtainable where it comes from. Do you understand? But there are still there are tribes. You know, of course there are individual differences. You know, these are discussions that you have before you get married. But there are some individuals that don't play with culture. Tribe is very important to them. So that means that if this is the way we do it in our culture, that's the same way. They are so traditional. In fact, there are Christians who are still very traditional like that. Traditionalist Christians. So what I'm now saying is that, now let's say that you now happen to know someone that is now on that table. I pray. One of us is likely to find ourselves in that situation. So let's say one of us is now likely to, or one of us finds ourselves in that situation. How do you think that situation should be handled?
I think first of all, it is conversation between both partners. And that is even before the marriage begins. Maybe while courting or something, or at the inception, like Kemi, I'm sure you must have had this conversation with your husband.
Definitely.
So what is obtainable where you come from? In scenarios like this, what would you do? So if I find myself in that situation, like if I'm courting and we have discussions around finances and all, I would want to know what's obtainable from his side, and I would also tell him what we do from my own side. But ordinarily, I think we are learned, we are we are graduates. So there is the place of having conversations. There is the place of you bringing in your lawyers to document whatever thing it is you have agreed on. About the man dismiss and having to will everything to the son.
To the son, yeah.
I don't know about the tribe you talked about, but where I come from, it's not done that way. You cannot will everything to the son alone, just the first son.
There is no willing, no, it's an automatic thing. In fact, sometimes you have the kinsmen from the village coming to take over those properties.
Exactly.
Even where there's a will. That's
why it's good to have a conversation before the marriage begins. So as much as you are having your own stuff, your own property as your husband, you're also probably encouraging or helping your wife build her own properties that she can fall back to. You get me? So it's not like the two of them are only focusing on having everything in the husband's name. And when things like that happen, the family goes away with it, or everything has to be willed to the first son. So if they are both true to themselves and they have this conversation from the get-go, they will be able to fix some things, some issues that could arise. Get your lawyers to help you document these things and sign. So some part of my property will go to my family, some parts to my wife, some part to my siblings, not even just the first son anymore. You get me? Like, to my other kids.
Actually, time is against us. There are people who can exhaust this topic. But Ricky, is there any last thing you want to say?
I just think it's communication, basically. You just have to be able to communicate. And if the person is not buying into your ideas, if you would like to have separate properties and you feel like he is like, oh, it is even only me, you are not supposed. Some people still feel like a woman is not supposed to have a property.
That's another school of thought.
They are different
belong to that.
There are still individual differences. Apart from, it's not just traditional now, it's just what they want. So communicate these things before you get married. But if you are married and you find yourself in such situation, I just pray for the grace of God and God's wisdom to help you out.
Amen.
I would also say that communication is just the thing you have to engage in first and foremost. And please try to work for your money. Own your money. So in
Okay.
case anything happens, you
Okay.
will have something to fall back on. Yeah, that is it for me.
All right, so you read it all. They say you work for your money.
Work for it.
And additionally, marry your kind. I think
Yeah.
that's just the fact. You just marry your kind. So this is what we'll draw the curtain on today's episode of Keep It Simple. I hope you had a beautiful time. Please don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms, and we'll definitely love to hear from you. So we'll see you next time. From Kemi, Tolu, and Ricky, we love you.
Bye.
Bye. Enjoy.